Understanding electrolytes is critical to having success on a low-carb diet. Whether your goal is weight loss, blood sugar balance, or improved cognitive function, adequate electrolyte intake is important. Electrolytes are essential for various bodily functions. Not consuming enough can lead to unwanted side effects. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing 4 of the top mistakes I see people make when it comes to electrolytes and how to correct them. Number 1, overhydrating. Let me explain. Drinking too much fluid on its own dilutes the body's sodium and other electrolytes. Your body needs a certain fluid to electrolyte ratio in order for things to function properly. So if you're chugging water in an effort to stay hydrated, but you're not properly supplementing electrolytes, this is going to be counterproductive. And it can actually be dangerous and cause water toxicity when taken to the extreme. In general, I find that most people do best when they listen to their thirst cues and drink accordingly, instead of aiming for some arbitrary water intake goal. And we'll talk more about how to make sure your electrolyte intake is adequate as we go through this video. The second mistake is limiting sodium. Many people who are trying to eat healthier, whether on a low-carb diet or not, will reduce their salt intake, thinking this is the healthy thing to do. However, when you cut carbohydrates in your diet, your body excretes more sodium. The reason this happens is to do with our insulin levels. When we eat a low-carb diet, our insulin levels decrease. And this is a good thing because lower insulin levels mean our bodies can become more insulin sensitive, it can help to improve insulin resistance, and weight loss becomes easier. But when your insulin levels are low, a side effect is your body excretes more water and more sodium, which means your need for sodium increases. And as much as sodium is demonized, we need to remember that it's actually an essential electrolyte. Our bodies can't work without it. We need it for many bodily functions, including organ, nerve, and muscle function, nutrient transport, and blood pressure regulation. This is why low sodium intake can lead to heart palpitations and muscle cramps. Sodium is not the bad guy it's made out to be. And we need to be particularly diligent about our consumption when we're eating a low-carb diet. Mistake number 3 I see people making when it comes to low-carb diets and electrolytes is relying solely on food sources. Now, while incorporating electrolyte-rich foods like avocados and nuts into your diet can be helpful, it usually isn't enough, especially if you're active. Most of the food we consume nowadays is much less nutritious and has a lot less electrolytes than it did in the past. This is mainly due to mass agriculture and the soil that our food is grown in being depleted of nutrients, including electrolytes. And this is why it's important to supplement them, particularly sodium. And this leads into the 4th common mistake I see people making when it comes to electrolytes, which is choosing the wrong supplements. So many electrolyte supplements and sports drinks out there are just a money grab. They don't actually contain a decent dose of electrolytes, or they don't contain them in the right ratio. On top of that, the amount of added sugar and artificial sweeteners in some of them is insane. Not only is this not ideal for low-carb diets, but it's not ideal for anyone who's trying to be healthier. Ideally, you want a supplement that's primarily sodium, with potassium and magnesium as well, in bioavailable forms. Sodium you want higher because, as we already discussed, you need more of it. And the thing with sodium is, our bodies have mechanisms in place to excrete it if we consume more than we need. Now, potassium is important too. However, we're able to get a lot more of it in through our diet, primarily from foods such as avocados, salmon, and nuts. You don't want to overdo potassium because, unlike sodium, too much potassium can be dangerous. Now, one scenario where you might want to include a supplement that is higher in potassium would be if you were doing an extended fast. Because of course, if you're fasting, you're not eating, you're not getting any potassium in through food. But in terms of a daily supplement, you want the sodium content to be higher. And the 3rd main electrolyte you want your supplement to include is magnesium, which again, you can get a little bit in through food, but most of our food sources are depleted. Now, the brand that I personally use daily and recommend is Sodi Hydration. Not only do these everyday hydration salts contain the perfect balance of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, but they also contain no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or fillers. and they taste really, really good without being overly salty. To check them out, you can head to hckait.com/sodi. I'll put that link in the description box down below as well. And make sure to use code KATE15 to save 15% off your first order. Currently, I have been loving the salty grapefruit and the salty pineapple. Now, before I wrap up, I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Have you been making any of these common mistakes when it comes to electrolytes? What are you going to do to correct them? Let me know down below, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.